I'm Jen.
I'm Marisa.
And we've got our coffee mugs and notes, and we are ready for another Kdrama Coffee Break.
So welcome to our 2024 wrap-up with the list of our top picks.
Marisa, how is it at the end of 2024 already?
I don't know. Having a bit of anxiety attack over
I
it.
know. But hilariously, when we were looking at our list, we were talking about dramas, and it was like, that was this year. It seems like the longest year ever, and I can't believe it's already over.
When I was trying to make my list, I would have to keep referring back to my drama list like 3 times because I'm like, am I sure that says 2024? Right. Just none of this is making any sense to me.
Yeah, time is like folding again. Like I feel like since the COVID, like we already have an origami thing happening, and now it's like folding like for the 98th time. I'm just like, I don't even know where we're at.
No.
It's just crazy.
All right, are we ready to dive in?
Of course, let's do it. Heck yeah. What's really interesting is that Marisa and I have 2 completely different lists.
Yes.
So we're going to go with Marisa's list first. Mm-hmm. Then we'll go with my favorites list. Mm-hmm. Then we're going to talk about the top 3 that we both agree are the best 3 of 2024.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think number 1 will surprise you.
Right? Yeah. I have so many thoughts about our top 3 list. It's kind of amazing. Right? All right, let's dive in.
Parasite the Grey.
Love that this is on your list.
This is one, again, I had to look up, was this really 2024? Right. But I just thought it was the best sci-fi K-drama of the year. It was such a fun ride. It's sci-fi, horror, corruption. It's high drama, and really just another reminder that you should always watch a drama starring Hu Kyo-hwan.
Always.
Always.
And are they're talking about a season 2, weren't they?
I really hope so, because they dropped a cameo in of the Japanese actor at the very end of the last episode. I'm like, this has got to be a setup for a season 2.
Yeah.
But this is from the writer-director of Hellbound. Oh. So the man's been a little busy because Hellbound 2 came out this year on Netflix as well.
And they do a little bit of reworking on that one, unfortunately.
So Parasite the Grey, I need part 2.
Yes. Definitely was intrigued by part 2. Okay. What's next?
Next is The Frog.
Really?
Yes. I just thought it was such a stylish thriller. Yeah. And going back and looking at 2024, I'm like, wow, this one really captivated my imagination. And it was kind of this mix of amazing tension and thrills. And it was all just very like the cinematography was beautiful. And Go Min-shi, she was just unhinged, but phenomenal in this drama.
Okay, now I definitely need to watch this one because I did not. I don't know if I wasn't in the mood, which if you really look at my list, you'll wonder why I wasn't in the mood, because like horror and crime was really some of my favorite this year. But yeah, for some reason, I just never hit play on that one. I'm going to have to jump on that one.
Okay. And then next to my list is Family by Choice.
This was a fan favorite for sure.
It really was. It was the feel-good drama of the year for me. But it was an unexpected surprise. I was so surprised how much I loved it. It was filled with best friends and awesome dads and Hwang In-yup and his deep voice, even in high school. Low expectations. I did not know what to expect, and I ended up just really loving this one.
I will say, low expectations really took many of my top spots for this year's list. If I went in with high expectations, I was like, oh, so disappointed. But if I was like, I have no idea what's about to happen, all right, I'll hit play, I'm like, I became kind of obsessed. It was really interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what do you think about Family by Choice made it such the... What do you think? Because we have a lot of those healing family, found family. That's a very common theme. What was it about Family by Choice that made it such the big one for this year?
So we've got a found family. We've got 2 brothers and a sister, and their relationship, their chemistry was fantastic. It was totally fine that 2 of them ended up falling in love. Totally fine. But also we have these dads kind of anchoring them, and their relationship is kind of like The Odd Couple, that 1970s American sitcom. Like the cop is a kind of earthy and doesn't get stressed out too easily. And the other dad was, just very, just took a lot of responsibility, had a lot of big feelings for his children. And the two of them together were they were fun. They were hilarious. And they're the dads that you want. And it was just this really amazing found family tied together by kalguksu, by noodles.
Nice.
I've got 2 more on my list. And just sidebar, there are some big shows that happened this year. We should probably look up how many dramas we watched. Oh my goodness.
So many.
It was a lot. So even though your favorite might not be on our list, let us know because we love talking to you about what you loved. Okay. So the other entry on my list is My Sweet Mobster.
That one was another one that people went nuts about. I didn't watch. Like, I was really weird and contrarian this year.
It was like an age-appropriate rom-com when everyone else was losing their minds over Lovely Runner. I was like, this is the one that makes me happy.
Spoiler alert. Lovely Runner will be on my list.
Oh, surprise! It's on almost everyone's list except mine. But it was just the right balance of goofy and sweet romance and the second lead couple and crime. It was like the right mix. And Tae-gu in a romantic, comedic role was a revelation. I will follow him to the ends of the earth now.
Ooh, yes. Those are the best dramas where you're like, yes, I will watch you in anything.
Mm-hmm. And then I have one kind of extra because I actually don't consider this a Korean drama, but what do I know? And that's Pachinko season 2. Mm-hmm. I thought it was just phenomenal storytelling, just beautifully rendered, filled with emotion and history with a top tier cast. This is just incredible filmic storytelling that crosses international boundaries as well as time boundaries. And I just really think it's the best of what streaming sites can do, bringing the world a bit closer together through just understanding humanity. And I think it reached all those goals and I just loved it. But is it a K-drama? That's up for discussion.
Right.
I would like to hear your point of view. So.
Exactly. Like it's in that weird world because it's technically produced here in the
Hollywood.
State, in Hollywood. It's a Hollywood production. It's Apple TV. Mm-hmm. But the cast is so many Hallyu juggernauts.
Yes.
You got Lee Min-ho, you got Kim Min-ah.
And Yoon Jung.
Yes, of course. So, I mean, it's like all these people we know from our K-drama world, it's like worlds colliding.
Yes.
So where does it fall? It's very interesting.
Yeah, and Anna Sawai and Jinha. Amazing. Just amazing.
And also, God, I just forgot because I love her so much.
Stephen No.
And then
Jung Eun Chae.
That's the one. Jung Eun Chae. I love her.
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, again, worlds colliding.
It's the way forward.
It really
is. International co-productions.
Absolutely.
Or international productions. Just an international life.
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about it, right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
All right. That's my list.
That's a great list. You have so many on your list that I'm now going to have to go back and take a look at for sure.
Well, I can't wait to hear yours.
Oh, I mean, you're not going to like mine as much as I like. I can guarantee it because right off the top, mine is Lovely Runner.
Lovely Runner
gets one of my favorite spots, and here's why. It came out of nowhere, and this is what I'm saying. My low expectations for Lovely Runner really elevated this one to the next level. So Lovely Runner has too many timelines to even attempt to explain, but this is why I really enjoyed it. We didn't stay in high school, which was my big fear, for episodes. We bounced around. They were adults, which was my favorite part. Her first time as an adult was the best part. I don't care. I will fight you on that. And we bounced around and we watched them fall in love and defy fate and end up together. And the fandom was huge. People were losing their minds. It was fun to be a part of that. And I really enjoyed it. I thought they had amazing chemistry. But the thing that really cemented this as one of the shows that is one of my favorites is the ending. They gave us an entire episode of them just being happy. It wasn't the final minute where they finally confess and they're able to stay in the same timeline and then credits roll. It was episode 15, figured it all out. Episode 16 is how she gets to become who she always wanted to be, which was a writer. And he's still a pop idol. I'm not sure if he's a singer or an actor. He's somewhere in the pantheon of entertainment over there. I don't remember. I apologize. But he's just supportive of his girlfriend. And you spend an hour with them just dating and being together. And it was so rare and so lovely.
So that sealed the deal. But as these episodes were dropping, and hey, Vicky, well done.
Yeah.
You know, over the course of the 8 weeks, it just kept building and building. Yeah. And slowly my whole social media feed was only Lovely Runner.
Oh, it was insane. The amount of like, like you said, it build and build and build, because every time jump was some new tragedy they had to overcome. So it was like getting a brand new drama every time with the same characters.
Ooh.
So it really got you just by a chokehold, because you kind of knew, because God knows that K-dramas can go off the rails, but you kind of expected them to get a happy ending. But yeah, it was that angst over and over, and it fed the angst machine. So Lovely Runner, well done. Well done. And then they gave us a full hour of just joy. It was amazing. And then the next one I have, you guys are gonna fight me on this one all day, but Flex Cop. It, for me, was one of the best comedies this year. And I will say it for the first half. The second half kind of, it fell into the standard K-drama tropes of tragedy, backstory, drama, blah, blah, blah. But our buddy cops, they just did buddy cop really well. An Byung-hun and Park Ji-hyun were so good. She was the scrappy detective, and he was the, spoiled chaebol, but as they kind of worked together, it was a great pairing, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And I'm hoping we get a season 2.
Well, having this on your list makes me realize that I really need Yumi Cells Part 3.
I will never get over Yumi Cells Part 1.
Is that my wish for 2025? I think it is.
It is. Absolutely. My next two, it's kind of a combo platter, because they were my biggest surprise this year. And that was Cinderella at 2 a.m. and The Trunk.
I can't believe you put them in a sentence together.
I know. It makes no sense until this. The reason why my expectations were so low for Cinderella at 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. until I read the synopsis, and it was they'd already been dating. They'd already been dating for 2 years, and then mom is like, "You need to break up with them." So we basically were getting our K-drama that we usually that's the big 12th episode thing. That's where we started, and they had some of the. And the thing with both shows, The Trunk I thought was going to be far more thriller-esque, but it ended up just being an amazing melodrama about two very broken people finding a way to break out of their own trauma, right?
This show is so polarizing.
Oh my God.
I really enjoyed it. Right. I'm seeing so many people who want their 8 hours back, who did not understand the appeal of this couple at all and thought it was boring, dull.
Really?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And this is me, you guys. Like, we know that I have a very low threshold for healing drama. But this, for me, both of these dramas, and I know it's hilarious I put them in the same category, but I think the writing in both of them, for couples having communication and having an adult and mature expectation of what a relationship should be and the way you treat your partner, they were both two of the best examples of that, in my opinion. And that's why they both ended up on that.
Yeah, The Trunk, man. It was definitely for mature audiences only, because the depth of their emotion and their fear and their anger was it just hit. I totally got it. I totally got them.
Yeah. I fell in love with both of the couples, right? Like, I was rooting for both of them in both dramas, which was what it boiled down to. Huge surprises on both. I did not expect to enjoy either of them as much as I did. And like Cinderella at 2 a.m., like, they had some amazing conversations about him being like, "Listen, I may be a chaebol, but you met me not knowing that I was one, and you liked me for me." And it was just you poor puppy. He was so dedicated. Oh, I loved him. And like you said with The Trunk, like, it was just adult conversations, and like they knew who they were and what their relationship was. And then they were like, "Do we want more than this?" And that was like, "I think we might. And let's see what happens." And I loved it. So yes. And then Midnight Romance in Hagwon. it's not so much it was my favorite drama. It was an enjoyable drama, but she was my favorite female lead this year.
Yeah.
And that's why it's on my list.
Okay.
Jenn was she was just everything for me.
Uh-huh.
Like she was a lovely person. Like she was just so real. Like she had an amazing life. She was an amazing HAGWON instructor. She dominated the industry. She was top of her game. People revered her, but she wasn't an asshole. Like she just was good at her job and people respected her for that. And then when she got offered things that didn't fit with her morals, she was like, nah, that's really not who I am. And it was just great. And then she got her man.
Hey.
And so really, at the end of the day, it was super satisfying for me.
What more can you want?
And then I do have just a little asterisk on this final one because it could fall apart. I'm not going to lie. It could definitely fall apart. We're only 4 episodes in. But if it continues, When the Phone Rings could possibly be on my list. It might get bumped to the 2025 list because that's when it will wrap up. But right now, When the Phone Rings I think has most of K-Drama Land in a chokehold.
Yes, we are currently obsessed with it and just praying that it lasts all 12 episodes because we're going to be watching this into January of 2025. But oh man, Yoo Yeon-suk and Chae Soo-bin, their chemistry as in this contract marriage is
they're the most toxic.
It's so toxic. It's awesome.
It's so toxic. It's awesome. Like, what is wrong with us? Like, we are so addicted to it. So yes, fingers crossed you will hear us talking about this one when we do our 2025 wrap up. Whew. Well, those were a great lists, but y'all, that was not our top 3 for 2024. Those were just mine and Marisa's, kind of our favorites that we enjoyed throughout the year. But our top 3, at number 3,
Love in the Big City.
Yeah. Right?
Young love, what it means, the pain, the friendships, the learning about yourself.
That, right? I mean, I wrote in my notes, I'm just a Gen X gal in LA, and I still felt very seen in this drama. It's a BL. It was a boy love. It was about the gay experience in Seoul. But even I, as a Gen X person in LA who has had very tumultuous love life, felt very seen with the way you learn about yourself, like you said, and how heartbreaking romance can be.
Yeah, I just thought it just totally captured the vibrancy of youth and young, real deep relationships and how just you are so affected by the person that you're with. And it just, and then there was dancing. I loved all the club scenes too.
Yes.
So we have to mention Park Sang-young, who is the author of the novel and then also wrote the film that came out with Kim Go-eun and Stephen No, and then this K-drama starring Nam Yoon-soo. So my goodness, that's a hat trick.
Right?
Amazing.
And the thing about Love in the Big City, not only was it an amazing drama, it was really exciting to watch the international fans really have this show's back. When in Korea, they basically got all of their ads pulled for the drama to advertise for it. And so the international fans, the international community really rallied behind this drama, and really Nam Yoon-soo also was like, he got a lot of feedback about how important and how excited people were about this drama. And I think that's just so cool. I thought it was really amazing.
So this was the first BL that was on a major, this was on TVing, which is a streamer owned by CJE&M. But when you see people, their humanity, the things that they go through that are just like the things that you go through, and you're seeing it in your home, you can change minds with that.
Exactly.
And so to have this BL be so prominent, it's important. It's so important. And the story, the acting, it was all just fantastic. And that's why it's number 3 on our list. It
really is. Also, I just read somewhere, I apologize, I don't have the link on me right now, but it's getting ready to go to Netflix.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, they're getting ready to send it to Netflix, or at least Netflix Korea for sure, but hopefully Netflix across the board.
So, yes. Excellent.
All right. So that is why it is number 3.
And number 2, Jen?
It is A Shot for Killers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, A Shot for Killers I literally just rewatched it. Lee Dong-wook, Kim Hae-jun.
Yes.
taking care of the criminal underworld with their gun running.
It's a family business.
I loved it.
Yes. It was it was very violent.
Very.
But it was such a cool tone and cool vibe through it all. And Lee Dong-wook, my lord, so handsome and can handle a gun. I don't know. What's that about?
I don't know. I don't know, Marisa, what it says about us that we're like, yes, mercenary for hire, delicious. Go. One of my favorite things that I read about this one, doing the research for this, is that he was like, in the book, Jung Jae-man was supposed to be this like aging, balding, unattractive guy. And the director was like, well, that's not going to happen. We need to have someone a little more dynamic than that. And so what they did with Lee Dong-wook, because they were like, he can handle the gravitas of it all. And so he did the whole thing without makeup. And all he does is he looks hot and tired. And I'm like, all right, sure. I love it.
You know what? The relationships in this show were so well drawn. You've got like our mercenary assassin, gun shop owner and his niece, who he takes care of in the most, I don't know, in a way that shows how much he loves her. Yet she has to fight for it, like literally fight for it.
Literally, yes.
And then we've got Jinman and Bale.
Oh God,
that was a relationship.
That was a relationship. I forget who played. Oh, Johansson played Bale. He played him so well. I literally believed he was just a nut job,
right?
That was about to murder everyone.
Arch enemies. Amazing. So we also had Jinman and So Min Hae, who was our female assassin / protector. She was a revelation.
Oh my God, I loved her so much.
We need more of that relationship.
I need a season 2 just to explore that.
Let's talk about that. We need a season 2.
Okay, yes. So, at the end of season 1, so this isn't a spoiler, y'all, but it's not a bad one. I mean, is it a bad one? We'll just put a spoiler alert across here, just so you know. The end of season 1, we find out that Jinman basically staged his own suicide so that he could take out the bad guys. And at the end of the thing, he just rolls up in a taxi, hobbles out, and then the niece and uncle give each other a cute smile, like, you did it, kid. Nice job. I need to know what happened.
Right. Where did he come from? What's he been up to?
Why does he look like that? Why is he so beat up?
I know.
Who all helped with this plan? Like, I rewatched it and was looking for places where I could figure out where the plan was in place. And there's one scene right after the whole murder of Jian's family, where he's talking to Passion, who also amazing. That character Passion was so good. And he's basically like, I need a long-term plan. I'm like, oh, this has been in play for a while. So,
that was a clue,
right? I really hope we get a season 2 to kind of delve deeper into some of these relationships. What happens now that Babylon has been destroyed? Are they going to come after him? I mean, I feel like there is so much season 2 material.
Yes. That's another wish for 2025.
Yeah. All right. Spoiler alert off, but still watch The Shot for Killers. It was amazing. It was so good. And number 1, Marisa.
Number 1. This surprised me. Blackout.
The best.
Oh my goodness. Such an intricate piece of work. The proverbial onion, the peeling back of the layers was just revelation after revelation every week, but they weren't huge revelations. They were small. And so what you've got is a young man who's been in prison since he was a teenager for a murder that he says for 2 murders, he says he did not commit. And then throughout the entire series, the revelations start coming, and then you realize what this young man has been put through. But it takes an outsider to do that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That was the best part for me watching this, was that it was the 3 people who had not been living in this town for like the last 10 years that were able to crack that code and make it all come out. And it was so good.
Byung Johan is a phenomenal actor. And I believe that he was 18 for a lot of it.
You were better than me because I was like, wait, which time frame are we in? Because he's got bangs. That means he's 18. Okay, copy that.
Okay, dramas.
All right. He's 40 years old, but bangs, 18.
Yes.
I'm in.
Because his character, the way he portrayed it, could have been so over the top and I've been wronged and no one's listening to me. But no, there was such reserve and it made it that much more powerful.
1,000%. And I think when we were talking about that earlier, we went to the MDL, we went to the Googler, and it was directed by a woman. Was one of the directors was a woman, and I believe it was also written by a woman.
Absolutely, because when you bring in women as the head of your creative team, there is such a sensitivity for like heavy material like this that just comes across. I think it's just beautifully told.
Yes. And they gave it an empathy that I don't think we often get when it is all male helm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of our favorites through the years, if you go back through our top lists, you'll find that there are women directors there. The Crown Clown.
Yes. Byung Jin was one of the co-directors on it. And then the screenwriter was So Ju Yeon, who also wrote Save Me Season 2.
Ooh, that one's dark.
It's so dark. But again, I think when you have women in those spots, like you said, the character Jenn Yohan played could have been like this just raging, angry man if he'd been wronged. But he really was just like, what is happening? And the detective, who is played by Go Joon, could have also been, I mean, he kind of started off as angry and violent, but he could have also been a character that we've seen a million times that was just like, you know, just that violent, non even understanding or, you know, taking forever to kind of get to the point of, I hear you. And he didn't. They kind of became buddy cops. It was kind of this adorable thing. They showed the small town mentality really well. And it was just super, super satisfying and so good. And when I first watched it, it wasn't on Hulu. And then it landed on Hulu. So I binged the first 8 episodes. But weirdly, the way Hulu rolled it out, it wasn't really the first 8. It was the first 7. It was so convoluted. But I did not get to binge the whole thing straight through. So I had to like start watching it week to week, starting in episode like 9 or 10. And it was so enraging. Did you got to binge the whole thing straight through, didn't you?
Pretty much. Yeah, I did. I waited because I didn't understand. Yeah. You know, I was listening to you talking about it and how obsessed you were with it. And I was like, do I want another crime drama in my life right now? And then I hit play and oh my God, I was so grateful to be able to just roll through because there's nothing like a K-drama cliffhanger at the end of an episode. So,
right?
Yes.
And the cliffhangers in this one were so delicious. And like Marisa said earlier, you kind of were like, oh yeah, I kind of saw that coming. But the way they revealed them was so emotional. You were so like, oh God, just a gut punch. And so when you couldn't watch it like as a binge, so we recommend, obviously you're lucky that you get to watch it as a binge if you haven't watched it yet. When you couldn't watch it as a binge, it was like gut punch. And then you were like, I got to wait a week. Oh God.
Oh no.
I don't know if I can do this.
The pain.
Yeah.
So we're Gen X women. We love television and we love crime dramas, but we also love what was amazing about this was it's not some big bad, right? This is a small corner of a small town. And it was, I kind of want to say it's like Twin Peaks, but not. It doesn't have any supernatural element. It's more that you just become obsessed with it because the more you learn about the people in this town, you're like, what? He did what? Why? And it just draws you in and like keeps you in its clutches. Absolutely.
You'll be yelling at your television a lot, but in the best way possible of enjoyment of television, for sure.
That's why we recommend it.
And there it is. And that is our number 1 choice for 2024. Just a little quick side note that I found really interesting is that Disney Hulu is our top 2 spots.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
Right? And I'm finding that as we get farther into the streaming world of, you know, K-dramas, that Disney definitely seems to be taking that crime, darker element slot. They did Worst of Evil. They did Gangnam B-side.
Blood Free.
Blood Free. Like they've definitely got those more like OCN type style of shows. So I mean, maybe Disney and Hulu is becoming our new OCN, which I would not complain.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Excellent. Well, there you have it, you guys. Our top picks from 2024. How many made your list? And how many are we fighting over? Let us know in the comments below.
But Jen, isn't that the best part of K-dramas? We all have different opinions, but we come together on so many things. And then we just find so many dramas that we love every year.
Exactly. And that is like, we may love it. Marisa and I don't always agree. Actually, quite often we're like, yeah, I dropped that. Keep me posted. We're like, yeah, it's not working. Bye. So don't worry about that. Just drop it and move on. There's always a new one right behind it.
So thanks for hanging out with us again this year. To everyone who has supported our channel with likes, listens, follows, comments, and of course your donations. We couldn't do any of this without you. Thank you. We can't wait to hang out with all of you in 2025.
We have some really fun stuff planned, you guys. So I want you guys to stay tuned. We got more community hangouts with our live chats, and we're doing watch parties now, which are so much fun. We're doing them where we're all watching them on our platform, and then we all chat about them afterwards. It's a lot of fun. And we're very excited to announce that we are officially relaunching our podcast in 2025. Deeper dives into actors, dramas, as well as some pop culture in the K-drama landscape.
So stay tuned for updates. Until then, have a lovely holiday season.